I'm Elliot Kleinberg, and this is Something Went Horribly Wrong, a blog about bad writing and how to fix it. Segment 60, the most horrible of horribly wrong so far. It's our 60th segment. Now, in the past 2 years, we've attempted to guide you to better writing. Now, some people wondered if we could find enough examples of bad writing week after week to fill our blog. Oh, ye of little faith. Now, by now, you've seen that we run segments every other week and then post the Grammar Police in the off week. Last week, we listed the best of 6 Grammar Police segments. And today is our Oscars ceremony. Here are the most outrageous examples, up to now, from our half-dozen segments of Something Went Horribly Wrong. Number 1, from our January 31st, 2021 segment on redundant redundancies, hot water heater. Now, this is one of our all-star goofs. It's not a hot water heater. It's just a water heater. It doesn't heat hot water. In fact, if anything, it heats cold water. So why do you call it a hot water heater? Number 2, from our December 4th, 2022 segment in which we butchered the openings to classic novels. The era had resulted in the most positive of outcomes, but paradoxically, it had also been the most unpleasant period. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Charles Dickens, A Tale of Two Cities. Number 3, from our September 12th, 2021 segment, Everybody Doesn't Like Grammar. The bridge was ordered to be torn down. The dog was ordered to be euthanized. Well, the dog and bridge weren't ordered to do anything, and neither would listen anyhow. They're a dog and a bridge. Now, maybe you could order the dog to sit. People were ordered to euthanize the dog and directed to tear down the bridge. Number 4, from our June 20th, 2021 segment on newspaper goofs. An unidentified suspect robbed the bank. Later, Robert De Niro was arrested. He is suspected of being the suspect who is suspected of robbing the bank. You get it. In my 4+ decades of reporting, much of it about crime, nothing was more infuriating than this one. I found the mistake in old radio shows dating back to the 1930s. A suspect is someone who is suspected of something. Duh. A suspect doesn't rob a bank. A bank robber robs a bank. Later, when police begin to believe Robert De Niro robbed the bank, only then does Bob become the suspect. If police say a suspect robbed a bank, ask him what was he suspected of when he robbed the bank. Also, unidentified suspect, it's impossible. Also, once De Niro is charged, he's not even the suspect anymore. He's the defendant. Number 5, from our August 15th, 2021 segment on the maligned comma. When you separate phrases with a comma, you're using it to substitute for words you don't want to repeat. It makes for tight writing, which we love, but you have to use it right. Otherwise, you create a grammatical mess. And we see the same mistake a lot, and nearly in every case, adding or and in the appropriate spot fixes the sentence. Now, for some reason we don't understand, the greatest offenders in this regard are commercials for drugs, especially in the usage warnings. We're guessing this is wording the federal government requires. Sure wish these bureaucrats in Washington included someone with a basic grip on grammar. Now, here's an example, and to avoid a nasty call from a lawyer, we replaced the drug's real name with that of a stimulant used in Star Trek. Warning, do not use Formazine if you are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. This is an actual commercial. Here's what that sentence literally is saying. Do not take Formazine if you are nursing. Do not take Formazine if you are pregnant. Do not take Formazine if you may become pregnant. Is that what the makers of Formazine wanted to say? We suspect it's not. This is correct. Warning, do not take Formazine if you are nursing or pregnant or may become pregnant. From our January 30th, 2022 segment on misplaced modifiers. Meghan Markle made her first public appearance Tuesday since giving birth wearing Givenchy. She gave birth wearing Givenchy. Wish we could have seen that. Number 7, from our March 27, 2022 segment on the dangers of using foreign phrases and images. Principal, this morning my daughter came home to say her teacher was discussing how Americans use foreign phrases without even knowing it. What kind of chutzpah is that? Who the heck is this prima donna? Does she think she has carte blanche? And in kindergarten, how do I know she's even bona fide? I don't need her going on ad nauseum about this, and en masse to the class no less. Don't think I am accepting this as a fait accompli. It's caveat emptor, as you know, and I'm not going to tolerate this faux pas. If that's your school's modus operandi, you might just find yourself persona non grata. And don't forget, you're not doing this pro bono. Everything has a quid pro quo, and I'm not going to accept the status quo on this, and I'm not just being macho. Number 8, from our December 18th, 2022 segment on cowardly writing. It's a safe bet that Miami Dolphins quarterback Dan Marino might break the NFL career passing yards record. Well, it's not just a safe bet. That he might break the record, that's absolute fact. That he will break the record is the maybe. Number 9, from our January 31st, 2021 segment on redundant redundancies. Convicted felon, ex-felon, ex-convict. If you're a felon, you're already convicted. And if you never are an ex-felon, and you're never an ex-felon or an ex-convict unless your original conviction was overturned. What the writer probably intended is that the person was an ex-inmate or ex-prisoner. This is a big one. From our November 20th, 2022 segment, More Bad TV. Returning now to our breaking news on last week's shooting. We have breaking details. Watch for breaking traffic. Well, the term breaking news, sadly, has become meaningless. If it hasn't gotten there already, it's already almost a cliche. And don't start with breaking details or breaking traffic. These make no sense. This is what we call cliche creep. But breaking news is the primary defender. 4 days after the January 6, 2021 U.S. Capitol attack, TV still was calling it breaking news. It still was the biggest story, but it wasn't breaking news. This is, a plane just crashed. People were shot at the bus station. The U.S. Senate passed a historic vote. The CEO of a major corporation resigned. Hours later, it's not breaking news. It's still breaking news if another plane crashed, if another person resigned, if there was another big vote in the Senate. Supplemental developments. Plane passengers arrived at the hospital. Buses started running again. The Senate took a dinner break. The CEO was seen leaving his office carrying a cardboard box. They're not breaking news. They're still big news, but they're not breaking news. Now, this might sound like a lot of judgment calls. It is. That's why newspaper metro editors and TV producers get big bucks. But these days, most of the time, when TV says breaking news, it just isn't. Number 11, from our January 30th, 2022 segment on misplaced modifiers. He almost beat his girlfriend to death. What if he almost beat his girlfriend to death, but she got out a window before he could touch her? Sadly, that's not what happened here. He beat his girlfriend almost to death. Number 12, from our July 3rd, 2022 segment, More Lightning Bugs. TV commercial, science project for kids 0 to 16. Church notice, during services, we provide child care for children from birth to 8. Well, what exactly would be age 0? And is the church expecting babies to come to their care straight from the birth canal? No. Say science projects for kids up to 16 and child care for children up to 8. Number 13, from our May 8th, 2022 segment on Sports Goose. The pitcher's been scuffling his last few games. This horrible, horrible malaprop must have snuck into the country with the coronavirus. What the headline writer wanted to say is the pitcher's been struggling, as in not doing great. A scuffle is a fight, usually just shoving between two people in a bar. From our December 19th, 2021 segment on anatomy. You don't have to be a doctor to write about the human body, but don't make stupid mistakes. One we see every day is stomach. Almost every reference to it in literature and news reports is wrong. Your stomach is in your chest, just above the center line of your torso. It's next to your liver and just below your lungs and heart. And yet, time and time again, people point to the area around the belly button and say the person was shot in the stomach, punched in the stomach ache. Wrong, wrong, wrong. That area comprises your intestines, okay? You don't want to say that, but say abdomen or belly or torso. Don't say stomach. Also, why do you say someone was lying on his stomach? He was lying on all his other organs as well. Say he was lying on his belly or his chest. Number 15, from our January 31st, 2021 segment on redundant redundancies. Pickup truck, also one of our favorite goose. A pickup is a kind of truck. You wouldn't say a sedan car or a yacht boat, just say pickup. Really, you can. Number 16, from our August 1st, 2021 segment, only. A national insurance company says in its commercials, only pay for what you need. and we suspect the firm has gotten emails from outraged English professors across the country. A cynic might theorize the company knowingly did it wrong to be provocative and draw attention. So, which of the following is correct? Only pay for what you need. Pay only for what you need. Pay for what you only need. Pay for what only you need. Pay for only what you need. In this case, E is correct. A, the version the company uses in its commercials, would suggest that you neither eat, sleep, or breathe. You do just one thing, pay for what you need. Number 17, from our June 20th, 2021 segment, Newspapers Goof 2. His blood alcohol level was 3 times the legal limit to be driving drunk. This is another all-star goof. The level was 3 times the legal limit to not be driving drunk. Limit means the top end. Say his blood alcohol level was 3 times the legal minimum for impairment or threshold. Number 18, from our January 30th, 2022 segment on misplaced modifiers. Steak, beef, chicken, poultry, zucchini, vegetable, coffee, beverage. You don't say any of those things. So don't you feel stupid about all the times you say tuna fish? Number 19, from our May 9th, 2021 segment on TV News, the residents of the nursing home had to be evacuated. Evacuated is another one that TV gets wrong pretty regularly. Evacuate means to empty. You evacuate a town or an arena. Evacuating people is something in the realm of gastroenterology. Now, one morning, TV breathlessly reported that a nursing home had caught fire and all the residents had to evacuate. I'll bet they did. Next time, it's all in how you say it. I'm Elliot Kleinberg. Visit www.ekfla.com. That's ekfla.com.